We are back at it again with some more NASCAR Chase for the Cup 2005 action on the channel tonight. Another full race live stream with realistic commentary along the way. We are at the Martinsville Speedway for the Subway 500, and it is the 6th race of the Chase for the NASCAR Nextel Cup Series. We only have 5 races left into crowning a champion this season, and all bets are off when we go to the shortest track on the circuit, and in fact, the second to last short track total this season. Final traditional short track, considering this is the last race under a mile in length this year. We had a record, at least for this game, 12 cautions in the first race at Martinsville earlier this season. Will we see more chaotic racing as we saw that day? We also saw a great finish where Tony Stewart was able to get his first win of the season at the time being. Again, like, share, and subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. We are about to get into this one. Points as usual for the Chase on the left side of your screen. Jimmie Johnson comes in with the points lead, 58 points above teammate Jeff Gordon. Gordon coming off a win at the Lowe's Motor Speedway last night. Jimmie Johnson finished in 9th. Dale Earnhardt Jr. is 3rd in points, 82 back, 97 points back in 4th is Kevin Harvick. Casey Kane, 132 back in 5th. The top 5 are all within 1 race worth of points from each other. Top 4 within 97. It is a tight battle, to say the least. And it's just crazy how tight it is because Jimmie Johnson has not finished worse than 10th so far in the playoffs. So it is just, all bets are off right now. And I'm sure that is going to be the case again here today. Johnson qualified 17th for this one. Dale Earnhardt Jr. for the 3rd straight race will be starting on the pole. And he will lead the field to the green at the paperclip. Green flag is in the air. We're underway at Martinsville. Mid-pack starting spot for Johnson, not ideal. He's all over the curbing in turn 1, bouncing the car everywhere. Did a great job keeping it off of Matt Kenseth and Scott Riggs. This is a race that Johnson, it's going to be hard to be patient, but you're going to have to be patient, especially starting mid-pack. There was no practice for this race, just the qualifying session, and it was not a good qualifying session for Johnson. A lot of beating and banging going on up towards the front of the field. A couple of drivers already trying a little bit of a bump and run. Johnson braking extra early, trying to make sure he doesn't run into the back of the 6 of Mark Martin. More contact. See a bunch of sparks flying. Martin aggressively into turn 1. He's staying low, trying to keep the 48 behind him. Dale Jr. has led the opening couple laps of the race again after qualifying first. So 5 bonus points for him. Coming in 82 back in 3rd. Now Martin's going to move up wide. Johnson's going to get around him. He wanted to make sure he passed the 198 car first. Contact with his teammate of all drivers, Brian Vickers. Pulls up high to make sure Martin wasn't going to get back to the outside again. A bit of a stack up in that last corner. Johnson beats Vickers back to the gas. He's going to drive it in really deep into turn 3. He's underneath the 29 of Kevin Harvick as well. And Jimmie Johnson's already getting 8 spots in the opening 5 laps of the race. Darren Dill, Patrick Shadley, welcome into the chat. First people down in the chat below. Underneath Bobby Labonte in the 18. Oh man, Labonte pinched Jimmie Johnson. Had to have known he was there. The only thing I could think of is maybe he thought he somehow cleared him in the middle of the corner, but that obviously wasn't the case. Johnson held his line on the inside, couldn't go any lower. He was almost on the curbing, and then that contact pushed him onto the curbing. That beats Johnson off the exit of turn 2, or sorry, beats Labonte off the exit of turn 2. Johnson actually cleared him before even getting into 3. 2 Penske cars in front of him of Brendan Gaughan in the 77 and the 2 of Rusty Wallace, both non-playoff or non-chase drivers. Davion West. Joey has a small Logano. Welcome to the stream as well. Oh my goodness. I could have read the rest of that. I was busy. I did read it mentally, just not out loud. Oh, that's how Johnson overdrove the corner. Tagged the left rear Rusty Wallace. Accidental bump and run, but it actually worked out like a traditional bump and run. Rusty gave him room. He just overdrove the corner. Johnson would prefer this not to go crazy with the cautions like it did earlier in the season. Again, we'll just have to wait and see how it'll all work itself out. Trying to get underneath the 77 of Brendan Gaughan. Look at Gaughan really crowding Johnson. Johnson's just going to have to let him go. He's really going to have to beat him back to the gas off the exit of the corner, just like he did that time off of turn 2. It does seem like Johnson's a little better in 1 and 2 than what he is in 3 and 4. Hugging the curbing, bounces wide, but he has the 77 cleared, and Johnson's already up to 6, but he's still 5 seconds off the lead. Junior is absolutely gone. The early go into this race, he's already caught the back of the lap cars, and it's only lap 13. Just got the SRX game and loving it. Yeah, I never played the SRX game when it came out. Jimmy has a big chance. Too many. You should have just had that instead of the Logano one. I think it would have been funnier. Should have substituted the Logano portion. Or you can wait till next time and use that one. Johnson's underneath Stewart. Stewart trying to crowd him. These two had a rivalry earlier this season at this track. It didn't really transpire beyond Martinsville. It was just kind of a one-race deal. Oof. Why would I say that? Johnson just got it in the back of Stewart down the back straightaway. Battles in for 4th place on the racetrack. Beats him back to the gas. Stewart was a little bit wider than Johnson in 1 and 2 as well. Open that small hole and that small gap up. Top 5 all in the chase. Dale Earnhardt Jr., Jeff Gordon, Kurt Busch, Jimmy Johnson, and Tony Stewart. First non-chaser and 6th of Elliott Sadler. A couple other non-chasers behind him of Brendan Gaughan and Rusty Wallace. Gordon's got nowhere to go with side-by-side lap traffic in front of him. Oh, Gordon goes around. He's in the wall hard. Both the Hendrick cars have crashed off of turn 4. Heavy damage. Jeff Gordon loses control right in front of his teammate, and the 2 championship leaders have wiped out. Oh, heavy damage to both race cars. Nowhere to go. I think somehow Kurt Busch escaped to the inside. Drama in the early going of this race. Gordon's going to stay on the track. Johnson's going to pit to try and repair damage. Major championship implications, and that bad qualifying effort for Jimmy Johnson put him in that situation early on. As if you could think that the championship battle can't get any tighter. Just 20 laps in to this 500-lap race, we already have our first caution. Johnson going down to repair damage. That was a pretty big lick for both drivers. There was nowhere to go with Kurt Busch on the inside of the 48. Busch is up to 2nd. His car is spotless. And the field will get bunched back together. Our first caution in the early going of the race. Johnson back to 39th. And he did not take off on this restart either. Wow. Gordon just, I mean, I don't know what happened. He just kind of lost it on his own off the exit of turn 4. This is an older surface here at Martinsville, and it is a tricky track, of course. Car just slipped out from underneath him when he tried to pick the throttle back up off turn 4. That was a big lick, and Johnson's going to have to go from the back now, and with significant damage. Of all drivers, it could have been not only teammates, but again, it's the top 2 in points. Oh my goodness, Johnson's got to watch the front of that race car, and he's got 475 laps to go to try and limp this thing home to the finish. And really hope that he can keep this car clean. He did a great job passing cleanly to get up to 4th place until that happened. He even set up Kurt Busch pretty well enough to get to the outside. You can tell the straightaway speed of shot this race car is. Maybe these cars at the back of the pack kind of pulling away. He has to really get back to the gas very, very early to be able to try and make a run. Johnson has not DNF'd all season long. And again, he had a 2nd place finish in the first Martinsville race earlier this year. Contact from behind on the right rear corner panel from Kyle Petty. Johnson outbreaks Robbie Gordon. Back to 33rd. Three wide. Terry Labonte, Rocky Perry on the outside. Johnson backed out of it, let his teammate go, and now his teammate stays wide after he passes the 143 car, and Johnson's able to clear Labonte. If I win, am I the regular season champ? We're already the regular season champ. We're in the chase now. This is the playoffs. Contact squeezed with the 184 car. Johnson's going to be able to get around him now in turns 1 and 2. Again, Jimmy Johnson won the regular season championship. We got 5 races to go, though, to crowning the actual Nextel Cup Series champion. We'll bump and run on Sterling Marlin. Oh, big bounce off the curb for Johnson. Barely keeping it off the inside retaining wall. Try the outside lane to get around the 172. First time Johnson's made a pass on the top. He tried to do that on Kurt Busch earlier. And then Gordon wrecked right in front of him when it happened. Johnson's climbed his way to 24th. The problem is, though, he's 15 seconds off the race lead from Dale Earnhardt Jr. And again, with damage. Now, if there's one track you can drive with significant damage and still have decent speed, it is Martinsville. But obviously having this much damage to be able to make it to the end is going to be a really big issue. Especially every time he makes contact with another race car, which is just inevitable here at Martinsville. Oh, another bounce off the curb for Jimmy Johnson. And this is sketchy. The rest of this race is going to be, as Winbow would say, major butthole puckerage. Another big hit to the front of the race car might end it for Jimmy Johnson, and that could end his championship hopes. Or not end his championship hopes, considering we still have 4 races left after this, but it will be a major, major hit if he does not get out of here with a decent win. Or a decent points day, I should say. He doesn't have to win. Dale Earnhardt Jr. only 82 back, leading all these laps. Jeff Gordon, although he has damage, he was in second on the restart still. Casey Kane's not having himself a great day right now. He's back to 21st after Jimmy Johnson passes him off turn 4. Kane coming in last of the 5 drivers who are within 1 race worth of Johnson in points today. Oh, Johnson gets into the 151, who shrouded Jimmy down the backstretch. What is this guy doing? I don't know who the 151 is, but he is holding up Jimmy Johnson. Casey Kane's going to get to the outside. Johnson's going to hold Kane up. It looks like Jimmy's going to have to try to pass the 151 on the high side. And now he's running the high side. And Kane's going to beat Johnson and the 151 down to the bottom. Contact between Wimmer and Johnson as Johnson cut the corner way too much. Didn't realize Wimmer was there. Tried to arc the corner off after entering wider. He's trying to get around that 151 car. Now the 151's holding up Casey Kane. I thought Casey was going to get around him. He was underneath him. Couldn't get it done. Ashton G, welcome to the stream. Oh, man, Johnson overdrove that corner. Casey Kane put the bumper to the 151. Johnson would do it, but he's got a lot of damage. So he really needs to keep the car clean. Kane's still underneath him. Jimmy's just going to try to follow the 9 car. And that will work out. And now he'll be able to pass Kane back in turn 3. Casey's about to get passed by the 151 car again, too. Kind of funny how that works out. 14.1 seconds between first and what is now going to be 18th. Actually, no, it's still 19th. The 0 car of Ward Burton's a lap down, so that was not for position. So Jimmy Johnson's still 19th. Ryan Newman, who's last of the 10 chase drivers coming into the race, is in 18th right now. He's coming in off a DNF at Lowe's Motor Speedway. He's actually had 2 DNFs in the last 3 races between Talladega and Charlotte, which has dropped him all the way down to 10th in the points. He was 4th 3 races ago going into Talladega. And his championship hopes are not mathematically over coming into the night, but at 335 points back. He needs Johnson to have a rough day, which so far Jimmy has had a rough day. But Ryan Newman's not capitalizing on that because he's in 18th. He's got 9 drivers to try and pass as well in between himself and Jimmy Johnson, and that's only going to make that job even harder as well. As much as you guys like trivia, I don't feel the need to want to have to revert to that if we DNF in the first half of this race. Well, I'm hoping we can last long enough that we'll have a decent amount of DNFs knowing it's Martinsville. Maybe that's possible and we wouldn't be the last one. I trust my driving skills. It's just, it was a freak accident though. And if that happens again, I mean, the odds of it happening once were kind of slim to none. And the crash happened right in front of the 48. at a slower track like Martinsville, you just don't expect somebody to get that loose and back it into the wall off of the exit of the corner, like Gordon did off turn 4. Jimmy's back to 17th. He's definitely still keeping decent speed in the race car. Ricky Rudd's blocking Johnson. Scott Riggs is starting to come back after the 48 now. Johnson beats Rudd off the exit of turn 2, down to the inside lane, and he'll complete the pass down the back stretch into 3. More lap cars. Kyle Petty at 119, I'm assuming, are both lapped down. Petty going to stay wide. Johnson's going to get around him. Actually, that was for position on Kyle Petty. 16, so maybe the 119's for position as well. And he is. For 15, Johnson didn't clear him yet. Give him a lot of room. He's going to outbrake Matt Kenseth. A lot of the chase drivers outside the top 10. 5 of them at least right now. And it looks like only 5. But then, while 5 drivers are outside of the top 10 that are in the chase, the top 4 are all chase drivers, at least as of that last restart. The points might definitely close in within the top portion of the field, but they may separate quite a bit as far as those drivers outside the top 5 might start falling out of contention after today. Johnson's 3 wide off the exit of turn 4. He's just going to let Biffle go. Johnson's got to be smart. Biffle looks like he's about to make another pass. Oh, Johnson just sideswiped the 107. Walker in the 198 pinching Johnson off. It looks like he's going to try to cross over Greg Biffle again. 3 wide off the exit of turn 2. Now they're side by side, so Johnson can be aggressive now on the inside lane. He's got the advantage on the Biff, and he's up to 12th. Johnson soaring back through the field. Still 11.5 seconds off the lead, but as far as his position goes, which is what the points are awarded for, the points are not awarded for the interval behind the leader. The points are awarded for your position at the end of the race, as well as if you lead a lap or lead the most laps during the course of the race as well. That's how bonus points are earned. Vicker's going to give his teammate plenty of room. Johnson off the curbing, still clears him with ease. Johnson under Jamie McMurray. We're going to use that 147 car as a pick. He does. Both those cars were a lap down, though. Probably another reason why Johnson blew around him. Great drive underneath Mark Martin. Johnson's back inside the top 10. Yard also lapped down. A couple chase drivers, Kevin Harvick, Bobby Labonte for position right in front of Johnson. Harvick with a wide entry into 3. That's going to hurt him. Johnson blows right around him. Problem is, Dale Earnhardt Jr. has led every lap in this race so far. He definitely has probably the fastest car in the field. I think that's pretty safe to say. Him leading a lot of laps right now is going to help him try to get the most laps led. It'll be a 10 bonus point day for the third place driver in the point standings. Oh, Rusty Wallace driving it in deep. He's trying to go 3 wide middle. with contact between Johnson and Wallace. Neither one of them were able to get by the 31 of Robbie Gordon because of it. Gordon is a lap down. The pass of Rusty Wallace was for position, though. Johnson's up to 7. Yeah, that was the, Michael, that pothole you were talking about was the one Jeff Gordon hit that piece of concrete in one of the corners. Basically put a hole in his radiator. They had a lengthy red flag to try and patch it up to get to the end of the race. That spring Martinsville date back in 2004, which was this season, so that's why the surface is as weathered and as old as it actually looks, because that is the case with this time place. Johnson to the inside of Gaughan, the rookie. For 6, Gaughan's going to stay wide and let the championship leader by. What a comeback for Jimmy Johnson, at least to this point. At all costs, he would like to get a lap led at some point in this race today. Have I ever sat inside a Gen 4 stock car? I don't believe so. No, I never... I remember going to see... I don't know where we were at. It was somewhere in... I think it was like a Myers parking lot or something. Saw Ryan Newman's number 12 Altel car back in the mid-2000s. And I don't remember what year it was. But it was the black and white paint scheme. And I remember being a little kid, and I remember them having a replica of the car there. And then they also had some NASCAR, I forget what NASCAR video game they had along with it. Or it might have been like a sim racing. Could have been iRacing. Could have been like the early stage of iRacing. I really don't know. I remember that being there. But I don't remember being able to go inside the car. I think it was just a show car that you could just walk up close and look. Because they had like roping around it and stuff. And then obviously at other NASCAR tracks I've seen replica cars as well. NASCAR Hall of Fame I've seen cars but haven't gotten inside of one. Elliott Sadler for position. Johnson about to break his way back inside the top 5. He's only 5 seconds off the race lead. Locking the tires up a bit into turn 1. Locking the tires up again. And Sadler's throwing some really late blocks. He's arcing the corners off, but Johnson's just not quite fast enough to beat him to the inside. And he just gets pinched off in the middle of the corner because Sadler moves down, kind of like Johnson did on Labonte that time, only Johnson flipped the curbing, so he didn't get as good of a drive off. Jeff Gordon in the 24 cars right in front of Elliott Sadler as well in 4th place. Johnson going to try to drive it in deep. That's one way to beat Sadler to the inside. He's going to get around him. Jeff Gordon's car is all sorts of beat up on that back bumper with all the damage. 3 wide going into turn 1. Johnson backs out of it and let his teammate go. Last thing he wants is these two teammates to tangle again. Definitely tell Gordon got the worst of the damage. But his damage is on the back of the race car, so as long as he doesn't get moved out of the way, he's fine. Johnson is not going to be able to move people out of his way because of the damage for him is on the front. I believe Kurt Busch is in second place still. Tony Stewart would be third. Johnson fourth. Jeff Gordon fifth. So all Chase drivers in the top 5 once again. Really, since Johnson got around Sadler for fifth, that has been the case. Johnson into the left rear of Michael Waltrip. Also, let's go, Georgia. Go blue. Go blue. Oh, Tony Stewart overdrove the corner. Saw his tires starting to fall off from underneath him. So he drifted his way up the racetrack. Easy pass for Jimmy Johnson to get the third place. And he's less than 3 seconds behind Dale Earnhardt Jr. He is closing in. I think a lot of the success and why Johnson's been able to close is just because of how much better he's getting through the lap traffic. The shorter runs are definitely going to hurt when he's racing the leaders straight up. Track position is big at Martinsville because of how hard it is to pass here. It takes a couple laps usually to make a pass on somebody equal in speed as you. Ricky Craven overdrove the corner into the back bumper of Jimmy Johnson that time. Need your help with the setup at Dover for handling. For what game? For this game or for NASCAR 21? NASCAR 21, you just got to throw the stability on. Like, that was literally the only way I could race Dover in that game, is throwing the stability on medium. As much as I hate doing that on ovals especially, it's the only way you can drive it. But then it's super tight, and you're just, like, forcefully on the analog stick trying to turn the car to the left, and you have to slow it down so much. That's why I was kind of arcing my corners off. If you go back to the custom schedule race that we ran there a while back, I was kind of entering in the middle of the upper groove, letting it kind of ride up close to the wall, and then arc the corner off. I couldn't do that with cars around me as much, but if I was ever by myself and trying to set somebody else, that was definitely the faster line for me with the medium steering assist. Oh, on Heat 5. Yeah, Heat 5, I never really used custom setups. I just kind of used the sliders. I had it in the middle, and it was really loose, but it just kind of... I knew not to drive it into the corners too hard, because otherwise I would just tear away the rear tires, especially doing full races. I don't really know if I could help you with that, honestly. Well, there's race leader Dale Earnhardt Jr. Lap 90, we're halfway on fuel. Again, we did have that caution that nobody pitted for fuel or tires during. A side swipe of that last lap car. Johnson just passed off the exit of turn 4. Jimmy Johnson is closing. Dale Jr. gets a little loose on entry into turn 3, and here comes Johnson to the inside, trying to get to the lead. Jr. has led the first 90 laps so far. Jimmy Johnson has come back after being involved in an accident on lap 22 to get to the lead at Martinsville. That's 5 bonus points for leading his first lap. That was big. He was as many as 15 seconds off the race lead. Junior leading those first 90 laps. Looked like he kind of overdrove the corner on entry. Pretty good exit, though. And Dale is not going anywhere. Nor will he with the damage to the 48. Johnson could just get through the lap traffic that much better than everybody else, which is how he caught up to Dale Jr. in the first place. Still a long ways to go in this one, though. To be able to have this and then, oh, keep on keeping on. Paul Menard overdrives the corner, and he sideswipes the second-place car, Dale Jr., giving Jimmy Johnson a little bit more breathing room. Now Jr. works to the inside of Menard in 3 and 4, and he'll pass him and clear him down the front straightaway. Jeez, Johnson just completely overdrove 3. Almost ran into the inside wall. I don't know how I kept it off the wall. Well, Dale Jr. caught up. So much for that separation. Oh, and now Jr. overdrives turn 3. And Kurt Busch is starting to close in. And the 8 or the 48 are running good laps. Oh, it's creating a huge pile up on the straightaways at these games. It's pretty easy to knock somebody into the tire barriers at this track. Honestly, the handling of the car, even with the damage, is pretty good. It's just the speed's off a little bit. I can definitely tell it'll be a little bit better once we get fresh tires back on the car as well with this older surface. In all honesty, it's looking pretty good. Kurt Busch has ran down Dale Earnhardt Jr. Johnson off the curb. Billy Kramer, welcome to the stream. Lap 100 this time by for Jimmy Johnson. Again, 4 races to go in the chase for the Nextel Cup following this conclusion here tonight of the Subway 500 at Martinsville. Top 3 under a blanket. Dale Jr. led the first 90 laps of this race before Johnson now has led the last 10. He's trying to catch up in laps led. Cerebral Assassin, welcome to the stream. Your area is under a tornado watch. Well, I wish you the best of luck, Billy. Stay safe. Definitely stay safe. We're supposed to get some pretty wicked storms here, too. I don't know if what you guys are getting is supposed to come my direction or not. It's pretty calm out there right now, but it's supposed to actually get warmer into the night, which is weird. By the time I wake up for work tomorrow morning, it's supposed to be like 60 degrees in December in Northwest Ohio. That is not normal at all. It was literally just 28 degrees 2 days ago for a high. So I all of a sudden it's going to get up to like 60. But on top of that, we're supposed to get thunderstorms tonight into the morning. And the wind's supposed to pick up big time. Even though it's supposed to be warmer, it's supposed to be 25 to 35 mile an hour winds. I don't know what the gusts are supposed to be, but the winds themselves can get up to about 35 miles an hour, according to the Weather Channel at least. Or my Weather Channel app at least. I haven't actually looked at the radar to see where it was coming from. I was just looking at the forecast this morning. And I haven't checked it since this morning either, so I don't know if the times have changed with when we're supposed to get that weather or not. But then by the time I get off of work tomorrow, though, it's supposed to be right back down into the 30s again. So I'm going to go into work, and it's literally going to have a 30-degree temperature drop from the time I go into work to the time I get off of work. And that's during the day. That's not a night shift where I'm getting there in the daytime and leaving at night. That's me getting there early in the morning and leaving in the evening. It's crazy. 66 in East North Carolina. Lucky you. Lucky you. You typically have a little bit more warmer weather than me, though. I'd love to move to North Carolina. That's my my dream spot. Obviously, if I can get it into the sport of NASCAR as a commentator, I would be living in the Charlotte area. So that's the ultimate goal. But even if I didn't, honestly, being there a couple times, even though I didn't have the greatest experience the second time, the first time I fell in love with the place. Just the Charlotte area, it's just breathes racing. Even all the local towns and cities close to the Charlotte area. It just feels right. Like I felt like it was my home away from home. Jesus Manuel Ortiz. Val, welcome to the stream. Johnson's starting to put a little bit of separation between himself and Dale Earnhardt Jr. He's got about a 7 to 8 tenth of a second lead. That's as big as it's been for Johnson so far since taking the lead about 21 laps ago. Nobody pitted for fuel or tires under the first caution, which waved all the way back at lap 22. We haven't had one since. So everybody's still on the same tires they've had from the start of the race. It should be a scheduled two-stopper for fuel purposes. But depending on how the cautions lay out, we could definitely see more cautions. I think being only 22 laps in, nobody felt really comfortable to come in that early in the race and use a set of tires. And to get a Nintendo Switch for Christmas. Congrats. Right on the beach, like 4 hours away from Charlotte. Yeah, Charlotte's busy year-round. Yeah, I mean, inner cities in general are busy, especially the more populated cities you go to. Even on race weekend, though, I mean, I've driven race weekend traffic a lot, obviously. Other sporting events, too. So traffic doesn't bother me at all, honestly. I'm so used to it. I worked in Toledo for a year. When I had my 8:30 shift, that was kind of a pain. You had to leave so early just in case you got caught in rush hour so you weren't late. So I'd have to leave like an hour to an hour, 15 minutes early. Just to, if I didn't get caught in traffic, just to get to work like a half hour, 35 minutes early. But if I did get caught in rush hour or there was an accident or something, then I would have been there like right on time. So that kind of stunk. To leave at 6 to get there by 9:10. At least you're able to make the trip in one day. The only tracks I can do that with is Michigan and Indy. Well, I mean, I could drive one day to the rest of them, but I have to leave the day before because then I'm having to drive more than 6 hours. And I like to get there early on race day by a few hours so I can look around, especially with new tracks that I go to. Look around, see what the t-shirt vendors and everything has, the tent vendors. It's like looking at stuff. That and some of the races this year have practice, or well, not practice, but qualifying on the morning of the race as well that I wanted to see, like Nashville, Road America, and Indy. So unless I wanted to leave at like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning to get there 10, 11 o'clock, 2, 3, 4 hours before the race starts, I'd have to leave the day before. Like with Indy, I left the morning of the IndyCar and Xfinity race, and I got to Indianapolis Motor Speedway about an hour and a half before the IndyCar race started. Then I had about an hour and a half in between races too, so I didn't really have much to like walk around and do stuff then. But I got there early on Sunday. My goodness, Jeff Green was all over the back of the 48. Thought he was gonna get into him. Anyway. I got there early because they had qualifying on Sunday, so got there right away as qualifying was starting. Watched qualifying from the grandstands, and I was just kind of venturing around. So when I went to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway Museum, spent about an hour or two in there. By that time, I think I still had about an hour and a half to 2 hours for the race. I stood in line for about 45 minutes to get a pork tenderloin, but that was well worth it. I should have gotten two, but definitely if you go to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, whether it's for a NASCAR race, an IndyCar race, whatever it is, definitely get the pork tenderloin. It's well worth it. It might seem kind of expensive, but it is. That is one of the few things that, when it comes to like sporting events that are expensive, when it comes to concession stand food or drinks, that is definitely a must. I think it was $10 if I remember right. It was pretty big too. It wasn't like a rip-off $10. Like the flavor was there and it was pretty big. If anybody's ever been to Indianapolis Motor Speedway knows what I'm talking about and has had that pork tenderloin, let me know down in the chat. But it was a good time. It was probably the best pork tenderloin I think I've ever had. Not that I've eaten a lot of pork tenderloins. It's not like something I've really eaten a lot of growing up, especially deep fried like that. I don't think I've ever had a deep fried, to be completely honest. Indianapolis in general has got good food. I mean, there was more options than that, but the pork tenderloin, if you've never had it, is a must. It's not up there with the Martinsville hot dogs. The only reason is because the Martinsville hot dogs are $2. It's the only reason I would rank the Martinsville hot dogs better. Is because you can literally get 5 hot dogs for one pork tenderloin, with the coney sauce and all the toppings on it. It's just crazy to even talk about like tornadoes this time of the year. Pretty wicked. This is the time of this year that we're supposed to be worried about snow. Not thunderstorms and tornadoes. Jimmy Johnson was pulling away a little bit. And it kind of stalled out. We got one car down on the bottom of the track who's blown an engine. That would be Paul Menard. Hopefully everybody misses him going into turns 1 and 2. Menard's still blowing smoke. And I believe he is the first driver to blow an engine in today's race. It's up break for Menard. His night will come to an end early. He did make his way into the pits, so we stay green. Spent over a 100-lap green flag run after the first caution very early in the race. Oh, I forgot you're an hour behind me. I was like, it's past 6 p.m. I completely forgot you were Central Time. Oh, jeez. Now the lead has reached 1 second for Jimmy Johnson. We're going to alternate through the different camera angles for the first time in the race today at lap 136. Oh, big bump and run for Greg Biffle. Popping the left rear quarter panel of Terry Labonte up the racetrack. Wonder if we'll see anybody short pit and when exactly they'll end up short pitting if we do end up seeing it. There's the damage to the front of the 48. I guess not as bad as probably seemed like it. Gordon definitely had a lot more damage to the rear of his car than what Johnson had to the front of his car. And a lot of that was because before Johnson hit him, he backed it into the wall. So he had the contact with the wall and then the contact with the 48. So 2 hard hits for versus Johnson really only had one hard hit into the back of the 24. He did get into the inside retaining wall with the left front, but very, very lightly. Then Gordon back down the track into the right side of the 48 car as well. So there's also that. Johnson barely clears Greg Biffle off the exit of turn 4. Oh, man, that was a bounce off the curb. Just feels weird to be 141 laps in and nobody's made a pit stop yet. You'd have to imagine just with saying that alone, we're going to be close. These guys can go a little less than 50 more laps on fuel if they really wanted to push it. Well, right as I was talking about it, we have some drivers hitting pit road this time by. So green flag pit stops will start at lap 142. A lot of drivers short pitting. That's going to be interesting, though, if we get a caution. Johnson lucked out with the yellow early at Charlotte on lap 70 through the first set of pit stops, trapping all but 9 drivers a lap down. And only 9 ended up finishing on the lead lap at the end of the race because of it. Matt Kenseth's in the pits. He's one of the chase drivers, 6th in the point standings coming in. Bobby Labonte making his way out of the pit lane. Ryan Newman on his way in. Johnson's going to stay out as long as he possibly can and hope for a caution. Harvick making his way out of the pits. Casey Kane on his way in. Considering Junior, I mean, he could be second place still, just over 2 seconds back. We got cars checking up. Oh, no! The 119 just got turned into the inside wall. He checked up midway down the backstretch, and Johnson caught him in the left rear corner panel and turned him. Our second caution of the race. Well, there is a caution in the middle of green flag stop, so that wasn't exactly what Johnson was hoping for. Oh, well, I missed my time to pit. That's okay. I brought the caution out, so. There are only 3 cars on the lead lap. Kurt Busch is one of them. Green flag back in the air. Johnson leads the field to the green at lap 151. And he's stuck on the outside 3 wide. A little contact with Kurt Busch. Johnson gets down to the bottom, so does Busch. I would imagine that the other 2 cars on the lead lap of Ray Parker and Kurt Busch probably pit. Yeah, I wasn't paying enough attention there. I I'm actually kind of glad I stayed out, though, because I feel bad causing the caution, and now there's only 3 cars on the lead lap. Outside of the drivers who were able to get around Johnson on the restart, like Dale Jr., Jeff Gordon, Elliott Sadler. Those guys are on the lead lap if they can catch a quick yellow again, which is not what Johnson's really hoping for. So he can pit under a caution flag. He can run this out about another 35 laps or so before he has to pit. Johnson's doing well for himself on old tires and damage to the front of the race car. About 1/8 of a tank of fuel left for Johnson. That's about it. Maybe he can't go quite 35 laps from the restart. Kurt Busch is starting to reel in Jimmy Johnson again. Johnson was pulling away from him. Kurt's putting a lot of pressure on Jimmy now. He overdrove 1 and 2, though. Lost a couple tenths of a second in that corner alone. Johnson had a really great corner, and Kurt Busch had a really bad corner. Kurt gets a little bit of that time back in turns 3 and 4. We'll see what he can do this time in 1 and 2. Looks like he'll close again. And that's just the fresh tire advantage now. We'll see how aggressive he's going to be. He doesn't really have to be too aggressive as long as we don't get a caution. Kurt Busch might be in the best situation of anybody here. Boss Brody, welcome to the stream. My day's pretty good. Hopefully yours is too. Kurt's going to try the outside through 1 and 2. I give Kurt Busch credit for racing Jimmy Johnson clean. I don't think 2004 Kurt Busch was willing to race many guys clean. Especially with the championship on the line. I would have to imagine that would only up the ante a little bit. Well, maybe if it was 2012 Kurt Busch, then he would have. Then he probably would have just dumped me just for looking at him wrong or something. Look, that would have been Kurt Busch 2012's excuse. He would have somehow saw Jimmy Johnson look out of his rear view into his eyes through his windshield behind him. And he would have said he looked at me wrong, and then he would have just dumped him. And then he would have yelled about it. Yeah, Johnson's definitely not going to go all the way to lap 180. Kurt Busch just overdrove turns 1 and 2 again. It's so close to the back bumper of Jimmy Johnson. He's being patient, though. He knows Jimmy's going to have to pit very soon. Man, oh man, this has just worked out so well for Kurt Busch. Johnson's going to try to stay out to about lap 173, 174 in case we get our third caution of the race. Not quite on pace to having 12 cautions like we had here earlier in the season. Well, most of those cautions were in the second half of the race. If I remember right, we had like 8 cautions in the final 150 laps. It's one of those cautions breeding cautions kind of finishes through a NASCAR race. You tend to not see a lot, especially with this game, when it comes to the full race live streams of these video games on the channel. We generally have clean racing, but every now and then it does get out of hand, like it did that day. Johnson's struggling to try and get around the lap car Kyle Petty, but Kurt Busch also struggling getting around Scott Wimmer in the 22. Johnson slides the tires a bit on corner entry into turn 1, but he'll get around the 45. All clear. Johnson will stay out to lap 175, and then he'll pit. He's had 2 cautions during this run, so that's going to help him save a little bit of fuel. He's got a 1-second lead now on Kurt Busch, who's got 2 lap cars between himself and Jimmy Johnson, with Kurt's about to take the lead here in another lap. Johnson will stay out just enough to get another lap led. So Jimmy has led every lap from lap 90. Dale Jr. led the first 90 laps. Kurt Busch is about to take the lead now as Johnson will pit off of turn 2 into turn 3 this time. 4 tires and fuel is first stop of the day for Jimmy Johnson. No adjustments to the 48 car. They're going to repair more damage after that early accident. Alrighty. No mistakes for the 48. Pretty decent stop. So Kurt Busch has the lead. Johnson going to try to run everybody down on fresh tires. He's back to 9th place, so he's still inside the top 10. Definitely been a roller coaster of a day for Jimmy Johnson. And we're still in the first half of this race. Slider thing helped greatly. Thanks for the... I didn't think I did much, but I guess you're welcome. I'm surprised Jimmy Johnson's only 1 lap down. That was a really, really fast pit stop. Considering he only had a 1-second lead over Kurt Busch when the pit stop started. wide off the exit of turn 2. Johnson going to be aggressive in the braking zone down into turn 3. Barely clears Michael Waltrip, who also drove it in deep himself. 2 passes per position in that swing for Johnson. That'll push him back to 7th place. Ethan and Reese Stolkup, welcome to the stream. You can see Kurt Busch up the way. I'm just shocked that Johnson's not 2 laps down. I thought for a fact that he was going to be 2 down. It wasn't really even close. Fast 4-tire stop. It's only 1 lap behind. And again, he's got the fresh tire advantage now that he's making some very quick passes. He's already gained 2 positions since making his way out of the pit lane less than 10 laps ago. Tony Stewart's blocking Johnson all the way down the track. Jimmy's going to wait another time to get around him. Ooh, big bounce off the curb. That might be a battle for position. Could be for the free pass position, which is why Stewart may be battling as hard as he is. Now there's a little contact into 3s. Johnson runs him back up the racetrack for crowding him. This is the second time Stewart's tried to do that to Jimmy today. First time was when they were battling for position in the first 20 laps. So it was a pass for the free pass spot. Johnson may be able to get around race leader Kurt Busch here very soon anyway, and Tony Stewart will be back in the free pass position. Not sure if he's fast enough to be able to get to Kurt Busch on his own. It might be his best bet of trying to get back into this race. Good exit to the corner. Kurt did not get off turn 4 well at all. The 143 of Rocky Perry to his outside. Johnson drives a deep 3 wide, uses all the curbing, and clears the 97 to Kurt Busch. Now Robbie Gordon has blown an engine on the inside of the racetrack as he'll limp it down the back straightaway onto pit road safely, and we continue to stay green. Lap 190 now for Kurt Busch, the race leader. So Dale Jr. still led the most, with 90 laps led up to this point for himself. Kurt Busch has led from lap 176, well, I guess 175 to now, and Jimmy Johnson led every lap from 91 to 174. So pretty close in the laps led between Junior and Johnson, but Junior is ahead. Well, thanks for hitting that like button, Reese, and thanks for whoever else just hit the like button that time around as well. Thanks for everybody who have hit the like button. Do so if you haven't already, if you may have forgotten. And also subscribe if you are new to the channel for more daily NASCAR content, whether it is NASCAR video game streams, both past and present, with the realistic commentary as well as for real races on the race weekend. Looks like Jeff Gordon's gotten most of that damage repaired on his back bumper. Jimmy Johnson going to make a pass on him quickly down the backstretch with the fresh tires. Johnson now the highest running Hendrick car in 4th. Almost a lap 200. There's Dale Jr. in 3rd place. Jimmy Johnson still about 16.5 seconds off the race lead. He is obviously fastest car on the racetrack right now with the fresh tires. Dale Jr. might have the fastest car otherwise in this race, especially on the short runs. Jimmy Johnson may have a better long run car. Johnson going to be patient, trying to pass Dale Jr. Didn't want to take it 3 wide again. He's done that a couple times. Now he's 3 wide again into 3. Well, he's going to send it this time. Go off the curbing. It actually didn't bounce and throw the race car as much as it usually does, which really helped Johnson roll the center of the corner as he clears Dale Jr. off the exit. Overdrove the corner. I thought it was going to just completely take out the 43 car. We're really close to that left rear quarter panel. That angle going in didn't look pretty. Jeff Green will live to survive another day. Or at least another lap, considering we have 300 to go at Martinsville. Bend over, welcome to the stream. I wonder if Ray Parker's still in second place. Him getting turned was the best thing for him. He was actually still on the track. He might have been trying to pit, which could have been another reason why he slowed down as much as he did with those cars coming out of the pit lane, was so he could make his way in. And Johnson got into the back of him, bringing out the second caution. Again, we had about a 120 to 130 lap green flag run. See how long this green flag run will take us. In the last restart out of this one, we've already gone about 50 laps. Joshua Rumsey, welcome to the stream. I come bearing gifts of my presence. Well, thank you. Thank you for stopping by tonight. Hopefully you enjoy your trip. I know you mentioned in the chat last night that you were leaving out tomorrow. Johnson locking the brakes up. He was going to try to just arc the corner off and get a really good drive off underneath his teammate Vickers, and Vickers slowed down so much that Johnson almost got into him. Forgot the speed difference not only between the two cars themselves, but because of the fresh tires, making it even more so. Johnson has, again, repaired a little bit of damage from that early accident back on lap 22. He clobbered Jeff Gordon after Gordon spun off the exit of turn 4. a.m., yeah, you're going to have a long day tomorrow. Makes you feel any better, I'm getting up only an hour later than you. And I'm going into work. I'm not going on a trip. Case Kane slides up the track quite a bit. I don't think he hit the curbing. what 60 plus lap old tires are going to do on this surface to you. Oh, we got another car blowing up. Rusty Wallace, right in the middle of traffic. He's just blowing an engine. He'll try to get out of the way down the front straightaway. Hopefully nobody runs him over in turns 1 and 2. Good job for the veteran and the former champion Rusty Wallace getting out of the way. Keeping this race under green flag conditions. It's the third blown engine we've seen today in the first half of tonight's race. Johnson within 5.5 seconds of Kurt Busch for the race lead. Chipping away. Oh, that was not a good corner for Jimmy. He's thankful he didn't get sandwiched between those two Ganassi cars. Jamie McMurray on the outside did a great job checking up not to hit him, and then Sterling Marlin as well did a terrific job to not run over the back of the 48 car. And a chain reaction of events of what it could have been. It never actually ended up transpiring. The 19 car keeps blocking Jimmy Johnson. Pinched in the middle of turns 1 and 2. There's a pass for second place. Five seconds off the lead from Busch. Probably gonna. Johnson may pit around when everybody else does. Bit of a stack up in turn 3. Scott Wimmer, the next driver to try and use the bump and run. Dark Crypto, welcome to the stream. Oh man, Wimmer is relentless. Second time he's tried to use the bump and run to the 178 car. That time he cleared him. And he'll stay wide for Johnson to blow around him into turn 3. Got to be feeling gutsy when you have a rookie in the Cup Series trying to use the bumper at Martinsville. It usually doesn't rub off well on the veterans. I guess he was using it to another rookie considering it was a generated driver he was trying to pull it off on. So maybe it is fair game at that point. Still might not be the best look. The veterans watching along. Less than 2 seconds off the lead from Kurt Busch. Kurt's got a lot of lap traffic around him right now. It's definitely not helping. Looks like Tony Stewart's slowly starting to close in on him. Still hasn't gotten to him yet. He's definitely closed the gap. Lap traffic could have definitely helped him. I think Kurt's struggling that much right now. So Kurt Busch has been able to get a lot of laps in. Led in now. It's now 50 laps led for Kurt Busch today, that time by at the line. Only had a few lead changes. And Jimmy Johnson going to try to make the next one. He is right on the back bumper of Kurt Busch in turns 3 and 4. It's kind of running halfway down on the straightaways. Johnson closes off the exit of turn 4. He is right there. Jimmy's going to be patient, though. He is in no rush. Johnson got really squirrely off the exit of turn 2 that time. Kurt ran really low down the front straightaway that time. Oh, Johnson into the back of him. That didn't really help. Tony Stewart's definitely gained on the 48 and the 97. He's still first car one lap down. Definitely won't miss NASCAR 21 ignition. I don't blame you there. Most forgettable NASCAR game of all time. Problem is, we won't be able to forget it for all the glitches and bugs. Kurt Busch putting the bumper to the lap car of Jeff Green. Patience may be running out on Kurt Busch. Oh, that was a gigantic bounce off the curb for Jimmy Johnson. And he clipped the 43 car. That slowed him up a little bit more. Johnson was able to get right around the 43, though, right back in turns 1 and 2. Johnson trying to arc off turns 3 and 4, looking for a pass on Kurt Busch. NASCAR ignition should be a start part. Your motorsport game is making better game. Oh my goodness. Just see with the alternating camera angles exactly how bad the curbing is. Still better than NASCAR Heat 5's curbing at Martinsville. You even touch it, you basically spin out with no stability. This one, it just kind of throws you up the racetrack. Can still cause calamity, but at least you have a chance of saving it. Or at least a better chance. Ooh. Kurt Busch might have sideswiped Terry Labonte midway down the backstretch. He was trying to set up the corner so he could try to arc it off. Johnson wasn't able to clear Terry Labonte that time off the exit of turn 4. Johnson to the inside of Kurt Busch that time, but Kurt's going to be able to beat Johnson back to the throttle. Johnson finally clears Terry Labonte off the exit of turn 4. We'll stick with the far chase cam for the rest of the race now. Well, there's our first bot in the chat tonight. We had a good run. We almost made it halfway. Almost. Johnson to the inside of Busch. Into turn 1. Felt that was the best time to get around him there. He had a great run. Wasn't going to pass it up, and now he's clear. And with the freshened tires, he's likely going to drive away. So Jimmie Johnson, this time by, will take the lead for his second different time here tonight at Martinsville, lap 245. Another bot dies by me. Contact with Ward Burton. Puts one lap car between the top two, though. Kurt Busch to the inside of Burton into turns 1 and 2 now. His turn to make the pass. Busch trying the top. Not going to work. He better get to the bottom. Tony Stewart might get around him. Tony's definitely not going to be able to get around Jimmie Johnson. I don't think, at least. Kurt Busch is keeping pace, though. It took Jimmie Johnson a decently long time to get around him, about 10 to 15 laps after he got behind the 97, though he was very, very patient in trying to pass him at the same time. Definitely did not push the issue. Nor did he really feel like he wanted to. Caution's out, lap 249, our third of the race. Right at about the halfway mark. And it's on Biffle. Car just kind of stepped out on him. It didn't look like he hit the wall. I think he saved it. Oh, wow. Scott Wimmer went up the track, too. Is there oil on the track? Biffle slid way up the track, and then I saw Scott Wimmer go wide behind him. Nobody hit the wall, though. That was a good save by Biffle. I'm surprised they threw the caution. The yellow flag is out. Johnson will pit. We'll see if anybody else comes into the pits with him. And they all come. 4 tires of fuel for Jimmie Johnson. No adjustments. Second pit stop of the day. So they kind of said that a couple times at Charlotte last night, where they said a couple cars didn't pit, stayed out. That wasn't the case. Jimmie Johnson just didn't win the race out of the pits. Kurt Busch wins the race off pit road, though. Green flag back in the air at Martinsville. Jeff Gordon restarts in second. all the lap cars to the inside of the lead lap cars. They'll stack up off the exit of turn 2. Oh, Johnson just sideswiped the 77 of gone. Jimmy's trying to find his way back to the bottom. Good drive off the exit of turn 4, and he'll get down in front of the 88 of Dale Jarrett, right behind the 77 of Brendan Gaughan. And there we go. Johnson moves on around. Casey Kane is not the leader, by the way, up at the front of the field right now. He was one of the lap cars. He would be the last car in the lead lap. Now, that caution does put Dale Jr. and a couple other drivers like Jeff Gordon back into it who were a lap down because of the second caution of the day. That third yellow, they were able to get back in front of the leaders. On a restart, Jeff Gordon put the bumper to Michael Waltrip that time. And that really actually stalled the 24 car out, but Gordon drives it in deep. Johnson just have to sit behind him, and Kurt Busch has just cleared Casey Kane off the exit of turn 4 as he tries to pull away at the front. Gordon trying to sneak by Kane. Off the curbing, rolled it really well. Car didn't get thrown around that time for Johnson. 3 wide into turn 3. Makes a pass for second. Bounce off the curb. He'll stay in front of Gordon in second place. Clean pass on his teammate, even with the aggressive move. And now Johnson has closed on Kurt Busch. Just past halfway, Kurt Busch back in the lead again. Here at the Martinsville Speedway. Johnson trying to find a way around him. Tony Stewart, I believe, would have gotten the free pass because of that last caution as well. He's back on the lead lap. Looks like he would have had to restart at the tail end of the longest line, though, which would have been likely the inside line with the lap cars. Johnson tried to widen that arc out a little bit to make his way around Kurt Busch. Jeff Gordon, a pretty good drive off. Looked like he overdrove the entry to the corner. He is all over the back of the 48. He puts the bumper to his teammate. Was not expecting that. Jeff Gordon put the bumper to Michael Waltrip earlier. Now he puts the bumper to his teammate. Johnson to the inside of Kurt Busch for the lead. Not going to happen there. Johnson trying to get around him. He just can't do it right now. Oof. He's trying the inside. He's trying the outside. He cannot get around the 97. Now that they have equal tires, it's going to be even harder to pass him. There's a little bump to the back of Kurt Busch. Johnson slid the tires a little bit on entry. Gordon almost got underneath Jimmy Johnson. Simultaneous blocks being thrown down the front stretch. Gordon overdrives turns 1 and 2 now. Johnson to the inside of Kurt Busch. Into turn 3 for the lead. Johnson clear off turn 4. Jimmy Johnson back in the lead at Martinsville as he makes a bit of a mistake. Kurt Busch is going to get right back underneath him again. So much for that. Coming up on lap traffic between the two of them now. Oh, man. Oh, my goodness. Oh, Kurt gets turned up the track. Into the wall head on. Caution's out again, our 4th of the race. I thought he was going to get sent into the barriers there as they made contact into turn 3. And once Kurt Busch hit the curbing, he just ran right across the nose. Well, caution's out again. I think Kurt Busch is going to be able to keep his position. I don't think he's too happy with the 48. Everybody stays out of the pits again, and we'll head back to another green flag restart. Lap 269. Oh, jeez. Johnson did not have a good restart. 3 wide underneath him. Bit of contact. Trying to get his way back down to the bottom again, and it looks like he will. Another bounce off the curb. Luckily, he had Casey Mears all cleared. And a pass made on Kenseth. For Busch trying to get back around Waltrip. Johnson to the inside of Gordon. He just flat out beat him into turn 3. It did help. He used the 40 car as a pick and trapped Gordon on the high side behind Marlin. Busch also in turns 3 and 4 was able to get around Michael Waltrip. Johnson going to try to get this lead away from Kurt Busch. We'll try it again. Oh. Looked like Johnson had him until he hit the curb. It wasn't too bad of a bounce. Not like Kurt Busch's bounce that brought out the last caution. And caution's out again back in the pack. I don't know who had the lead when the caution waved, though. Well, now cautions are starting to breed cautions once again here at Martinsville. Matt Kenseth has crashed in turns 3 and 4. Now, he definitely hit the wall and stalled. Kevin Harvick went flying through the smoke, trying to get as many positions as he could before the caution came out. Everybody is able to miss the 17 car. That is the second Roush car that has crashed on corner entry into turn 3. Biffle did that earlier, but again, he saved it, but still we ended up getting a caution for it. 5th caution of the race. That time around, Johnson was in the lead by about a half a car length over Kurt Busch. He'll get the restart from the lead. Hopefully he can take off a little bit better this time. And he did not. He locked the tires up into the corner. Kurt Busch underneath him, 3 wide. Contact made. Johnson squeezed into the wall now. They're 3 wide going down into the corner. Oh, Harvick off the curb, and Harvick's going to go up the track. And he backs down in front of a couple other cars as they pile in big in turn 3. 1 lap after the restart. They were 4 wide going into turn 3. I didn't realize Jarrett was on the outside of the 48. Dale Jr. gets collected in a huge parking lot. Terry Labonte's rear wheels come up off the ground. And this is starting to get a little ugly all of a sudden. So we've had about 4 cautions in about 40 laps. And Johnson's going to pit to try and repair some damage. Our 6th caution of the race. And nobody else is going to come with him. Not going to take fuel or tires here. Just going to repair damage. They were 4 wide getting into 3. They all got clustered off of 2 and they were 3 wide for the lead. And then I didn't even realize Jarrett was on the outside. There just was not enough room to get in there 4 wide at Martinsville. Johnson had some damage from that earlier accident with Jeff Gordon, so he's just trying to get back into a comfortable situation, trying to repair as much of that damage from the last 2 cautions as he can. Green flag back in the air. We got 10 cars on the lead lap for the restart. Johnson's going to try to go back to being patient as we still have just over 200 laps to go. Mostly double file restart for right now. Johnson doesn't want to get put 3 wide again. Contact with Terry Labonte. Whoa. Oh my goodness. They were slowing down way early that time. Oh, they're wrecking off turn 4. Kenseth just about got turned by the 198. Well, there's a pass for position in there somewhere, probably on Kenseth. Actually, no, it would have been Marlin. It's Martinsville for you, yeah. Hopefully it doesn't turn into a truck race. A standard Martinsville truck race, how the last couple have gone there. We get cautions about every 10 to 20 laps going forward in this one. Johnson clears Labonte off the exit of turn 4 for position. Kurt Busch is again the leader. Kurt's getting a lot of laps led in here. I wonder if he's caught up to Jimmy Johnson or Dale Jr. now in laps led. Jr. still has not led since lap 90, so it's been almost 200 laps since the last time he has been out in front of the field after qualifying on the pole. Just hasn't had that track position back. That one caution in the middle of green flag stops. He's still trying to come back from it. He is on the lead lap now, but looks like he is in the 5th position, assuming that Ricky Rudd and Brian Vickers are both lap cars. Johnson underneath Stewart. Oh, man, big crowding going on. Johnson off the curbing, but he had really nowhere else to go. Oh, more contact with Stewart. And now he's clear. That's the 3rd time that Tony Stewart and Jimmy Johnson have made contact with each other today. And I'm starting to think that that's why they had a rivalry at Martinsville earlier this season. It's because Tony Stewart's probably crowding Jimmy Johnson a lot. Now Stewart's going to cross Johnson over again. He's going to try to pick him behind his own teammate. Not going to happen. Johnson beats him off the exit of turn 2. He'll run to the bottom of the racetrack now. Stewart goes up the track. Overdriving turn 3, trying to get back to the inside of the 48. Survival of the fittest at Martinsville. And, well, the last thing we need is to make rivals, considering that there is a rival indicator in this game. And considering we're this late in the season, it's the last thing we need. The only rivalry I can think of was Tony Stewart for that one race, and it was at this track earlier in the season. Johnson passes Dale Jarrett. That was actually for position, so that was to move Johnson in the top 5. Great drive off the exit of turn 2. Johnson looking to pass Dale Jr. now. And he will for 4th. I don't believe Jeff Gordon's led a lap yet today, considering he's been towards the front most of the day and was involved in an accident. So he's had a pretty heck of a day so far, just like Jimmy Johnson. Both Hendrick cars are inside the top 4. The hot air balloon. I think I saw that before. I don't know if that's a glitch or not, though. It's kind of weird. One of the more abnormal things you'll see in a NASCAR video game. We saw a pickup truck. I believe it was at Homestead. was like a pickup truck or an army truck or something on the backstretch. It might not have been Homestead. I'm thinking it was Homestead. It was either Homestead or Vegas. I know it was a mile and a half. Could have been Atlanta too. I remember it being a mile and a half. Now I'm starting to second and third guess myself. Get my own self confused. Johnson underneath Harvick. Harvick is a lap down, probably the first car a lap down. Oh, Kurt Busch's a rival. I didn't even realize that. Well, 200 to go this time by at Martinsville. 300 laps complete. I guess there's a rivalry between Kurt Busch and Jimmy Johnson. 3 wide off the exit. Turn 2 for second between the Hendrick cars, and Johnson outbreaks Gordon. Well, I'm not sure how this is going to work itself out. Johnson's going to be pretty patient behind Kurt Busch. No, he's going to go for it. Hoping he got clipped behind the lap cars enough. And that will be the case. 3 wide, in fact, into the corner for Jimmy Johnson, and he's in the lead with 199 to go at the paperclip. Clean pass on Kurt Busch. He went as low as he could down the back straightaway to try and get away, and he went 3 wide into the corner as well. Now the issue is Kurt Busch going to get to the back bumper of the 48 car? If he is still mad. I'd be shocked if he is. Seen a lot of cautions all of a sudden in the second half of this race. 4 of them from lap 249 to now. We only had 2 in the first 248 laps. I wonder if it's going to be possible that Martinsville could be the race where we could see the first and second most cautions this season. This track just, for whatever reason, brings out a lot of yellows. We'll probably see it in the custom schedule season as well. It's really only in the Cup Series. I don't remember it being like this for the trucks. We didn't race here in the Busch Series at all. But I don't remember the Truck Series having races like this. We raced here twice in the Truck Series. And we got another driver blowing an engine on the inside of the racetrack into turns 1 and 2. That would be the 41 car of Casey Mears. Johnson going to go wide. Oh, Kurt Busch had to check up. Kurt tried to cut to the inside of Johnson, getting into the corner. Oh, Biffle now moving the 143 car out of the way. That was an aggressive move, and Johnson's got about a 1 second lead on Busch now. Kurt's going to have to try to run down the 48 car again. 143 going to cross Biffle over with a clean pass. Biffle just completely ran him up the racetrack the lap before. They're still side by side. Johnson under Biffle. Clears him. I like how Biffle just ran the 143 car out of the way, and now the 143 passed him cleanly and is just absolutely pulled away from him. Biffle brought out a caution earlier in the race. Maybe he's having a brake issue. Sure, he'll let his teammate Kurt Busch go. All right. Well, thanks for stopping by tonight, Joshua. Hopefully, again, you enjoy yourself over the next week. Enjoy the weather. Well, Curtis absolutely ran down Jimmy Johnson the last few laps. And he's within about 2 to 3 car lengths, maybe a little less than 3. Oh, Johnson goes a little wide. Kurt Busch going to get underneath him. Side by side for the lead. I don't think Kurt Busch is a rival anymore. Johnson going to hope that it stays that way. Jimmy locks the brakes up, and Kurt Busch has passed him clean. So Kurt Busch back in the lead now at Martinsville. Johnson going to try to cross him back over, though, into turns 3 and 4, and he does. So Kurt got 1 lap led in there. Jimmy's going to clear him off turn 2. Still 1-stop race to the end. Johnson quickly out to a half-second lead. Can't tell if somebody's blowing an engine up there or not. Looks like somebody might be smoking it. It's really hard to tell with the graphics. Oh, wow. Kurt's going to try the top now. It's not going to work with the 143 car of Rocky Perry on the outside. Jeff Gordon is starting to close in now in the battle for the race lead. Busch still a championship contender. Comes into the chase 8th in the standings, 239 back. He's having a solid run to at least keep himself in contention with 4 races to go following this one, even if Jimmy Johnson were to finish a couple spots ahead of him. But obviously, he's going to need Johnson to have a pretty rough performance at some point. It looked like tonight could have been the night the way things started with that early caution lap 22, but it just never ended up turning out to be that way. Although we still have, again, well over 150 laps to go, so it could change. Kurt Busch overdrives 1 and 2. He's going to try to drive it in hard into 3 and 4 again. And again, he's going up the track. Kurt's pushing hard. Johnson going to protect the bottom. Kurt almost got around Jimmy on the outside. Seen a lot of drivers use the bump and run today. Even Jeff Gordon tried to use it on his teammate Jimmy Johnson at one point, not all that long ago, on a restart. Saw Kurt Busch use a bump and run on Michael Waltrip earlier on in the day to try to get that track position on one of the last couple restarts we have had. Tough to tell who's led the most laps in this one between Johnson, Busch, or Earnhardt. It's going to be pretty tight between all of them. Not so sure the cautions are done yet either, considering we still have one more stop left to the end. Already the race with the most cautions as far as the chase races go. After that 6-1 flew before lap 300. Second most was at Talladega now, where we had 5, and then we had 4 at Kansas and 3 at Dover. None at New Hampshire. That race went caution-free. run for Kurt Busch. Johnson going to throw a block on the front straightaway. Oh, Kurt's going way up the track. He overdrove him, but so did Johnson. Johnson entered flat. Oh, and Busch got back in the gas too soon after overdriving the entry, and Jeff Gordon's going to pass him for second place. Big mistake from Kurt Busch. Johnson off the curbing. And Hendrick Motorsports runs 1-2 there at Martinsville. Johnson locking up the brakes. Gordon has not led yet in this race today. Johnson would like to keep it that way. Doesn't want to give that second place driver in the point standings any more points. If he can help it. Oh, there goes Gordon to the bottom in 1 and 2. Oh, Johnson, what a drive off of turn 2. Contact between Gordon and Johnson. Oh, Gordon just completely took out Jimmy getting into turn 3. And here comes Kurt Busch. Little contact there. Oh, my goodness. What a chain reaction of events that was. And now Kurt Busch is in the lead. And now Sadler gets into the 48. I don't know what to explain. What just happened? Oh, my goodness. Johnson loose, getting back to the throttle off, too. I think Elliott Sadler might be on the lead lap. Kurt Busch back in the lead at Martinsville. Sadler is challenging for second place right now. Johnson gets a great run off the exit of turn 4. Almost got squeezed into the wall by Kurt Busch again. He is there. Johnson looking low on Kurt Busch into turn 3. Drove it in really deep on the curbing. Oh my goodness, car's being thrown around like crazy. Hit a tiptoe back to the throttle. Kurt Busch leads that lap. Johnson's still going to stay underneath him into turn 1. And Johnson will clear Kurt Busch off the exit of turn 2. Dodgers and Hardin fan, we've had 6 cautions total in the race today. Kurt Busch back to the bottom. Johnson on the outside. Johnson gets the drive off 4, throws a block on the front straightaway. Sadler to the inside for second on Kurt Busch. He's still there in turn 3. They run side by side for a few more laps. Johnson may start to pull away a bit. Kurt's getting a good drive down the straightaway. Great corner exit. Oh, man, almost put it in the wall there. Really trying to outbreak the 38. And he does that time. Oh, wow. Johnson almost crowded him. That was close. Johnson's still able to hold on to the lead. I don't know why the car got so loose. Kurt's in the wall now, down on the bottom. And he clips the 38 of Sadler, and Sadler's in the outside wall. And now here comes Dale Jr. And Jr.'s back in the lead at Martinsville. What a transition of events is going on over the last 10 laps. Kurt might be mad at Johnson again. I'm not entirely sure. Jimmy's going to hope he stays in front of the 97. Johnson trying to make his way around. Kurt Busch. Oh, jeez. Drove it into the inside wall off the exit of the corner. Junior trying to be aggressive. Johnson almost gets into him. Jimmy locked the brakes up big time to try and keep it off of the 8. Just drove it into the outside wall now. Patience is worn thin. For everybody. Elliott Sadler's going for the race lead. He's had a lot of bad luck this season. Not currently. He just led his first lap of the race. Johnson gets around Dale Jr. Jr. trying to power back on the top. Well, halfway on fuel now. Kurt Busch to the inside of Dale Jr. for position. Johnson going to try to find a way to get around Elliott Sadler now for the lead. M&M's Ford out in front, our Daytona 500 winner. The only driver to win in the regular season but not make it to the chase. He's still, as of right now, the only driver not in the chase with a win. We've had 9 different winners. The other 8 were in the chase. One of which, Matt Kenseth, didn't get his first win until Talladega in the chase. It's like it kind of amps up and then it calms down for a couple laps and then it amps back up again and it calms down. It's kind of been the story of the last 100 to 150 laps. Still got another 155 to go. Top 4 are under a blanket right now. Got a lot more lap traffic coming up pretty soon as well. Kurt Busch to the inside of Dale Jr. off the exit of turn 2. Jr. got a great drive off, though. He hangs on. Johnson's going to try to pick Sadler behind one of these lap cars up ahead, if he can help it. Got to get to the lap cars first. He's kind of slowly creeping up on him. I don't think Sadler's got that fast of a race car. Johnson trying to go for the lead. Pretty deep into turn 3. Trying to get these lower exits. It's just not really working out. Lock the tires up into turn 1. Johnson's going to try to drive it in deep to the outside this time. Turns 3 and 4, that didn't work. Had a bit of clearance from behind. Junior didn't get off turn 2 very well, so he figured he'd try it. Sadler working around Scott Wimmer. Johnson trying to get underneath him. We got green flag pit stops going on right now as well, it seems like. 3 wide into the corner. Johnson up on the curbing, trying to keep it off the 38. And he is going to clear Elliott Sadler into turn 3. Oh, contact. Wimmer got into the back of the 38 car. The lap car of Wimmer gets into the back of the second place car, and that allows Dale Jr. to close in, and now he's on the back of the 38. A lot of short pitting. Drivers pitting right now could make it to the end on fuel. I don't think it's going to stay green to the finish, though. Not the way the racing's been since the last restart. The fact we've had 6 cautions already, I just don't... I don't see it happening. I mean, you guys down in the chat can let me know if you think it's going to stay green to the end, but I don't think it's going to. Junior finally got to make his way around Sadler for second place, and he's going to try to run down Jimmy Johnson. The race for the most laps led is very interesting right now between Dale Jr. and Jimmy Johnson as well. Got to be really close. Kurt Busch is in the mix, too. Johnson leads right now. Better for him, obviously. Junior's only led 1 lap since lap 90. Going to try the outside. Not going to work. Russell Jackson, the 142, is just up ahead. I'm assuming you probably got high winds too there, Billy. Can't really see outside right now because it's dark, so I can't tell you if the wind's picked up here or not yet. I don't think it was supposed to really start picking up until later into the night. I don't even know if it's raining right now. Oh, whoa, contact. Johnson didn't realize Dale Jr. was there. Jr. to the lead. Jimmy just completely chopped him off. Sadler drives it in deep now, and he's up to second. Jimmy back to third. Try to cross over the 38. And does. Johnson on the inside of Dale Jr. Clears him into 3. Jr. to the top. Nothing doing there. You'd almost hate to have green flag pit stops now and let that dictate how things are going to play out to the finish. Because if we got a caution in the middle of green flag stops, a lot of these drivers are going to get trapped a lap down again. Got 10 cars on the lead lap. At least did. I don't know if we still do or not. As of the last restart, we had about 10 on the lead lap. Johnson up off the curbing. Jimmy not going to be able to get around Ward Burton. Johnson clears Burton. One lap car between the top two. Still 133 laps to go at the line that time. like how the crew chief just randomly, like, says stuff like that. If he wasn't so friendly, he'd be blocking. Like, they could be running in 40th, like 5 laps down. So he shouldn't even be blocking anyway. You have to be friendly to not block. Johnson trying to hold off a late surge there by Dale Jr. down the backstretch. Up to 17 likes on the stream right now. Definitely hit that like button again if you haven't already. Subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. Less than 130 laps to go in the Subway 500 at Martinsville. I didn't eat the rest of my Subway from lunch today, so if I win this race, I'll have to celebrate with a... Well, it's not a foot-long anymore. It was a foot-long chicken bacon ranch. Now it's just a 3-inch chicken bacon ranch. I got double protein on it, so it was loaded up pretty good. I couldn't finish it all on lunch today. I didn't want to gorge myself before I went back out on the work floor. Junior drives it in deep. Pretty clean with Jimmy Johnson that time. Johnson hangs on. Junior overdriving turn 1. Sadler to the inside for second. Not sure where Jeff Gordon's at anymore. Gordon still hasn't led. He got really close until he made contact with Johnson a while back when they were battling for the lead. That was really the start of all this craziness that we've seen over the last, pretty much since just shy of the lap 300 mark. Actually, the start of it was probably when we had about 4 cautions within a 30 to 40 lap stretch. That was probably the start of it. Decent long green flag run since, though. Almost 100 lap green flag run that we are currently on. The longest green flag run of the day is about 130 laps. So we do have a chance to break that if we can stay green a little bit longer. One thing with how crazy these restarts have been, though, and why we keep seeing cautions after a restart, I have a feeling, yes, we get a long green flag run like right now, but all it's going to take is one caution to bunch the field back up tightly for another congested restart. Double file at that, because the lap cars will be to the inside of the lead lap cars as long as it's not with 10 laps to go or less. I'm going to add to the drama. $120 to go. Junior trying a wider arc, and Sadler again's going to get to the inside of Dale Jr. Junior should be able to hang on to second place again this time, and he'll throw the block into 3. As they battle for second, Johnson's starting to pull away a little bit, out to about a 6/10 of a second lead at the line. With buddy Greg Biffle another lap down. We'll get to meet Greg Biffle for the next Busch and Cup Series season on this game. Plan on doing one more season for each series on this game. We'll have a custom schedule second time around for every series. A lot of fantasy tracks to race at in this game. A lot of them are road courses, street courses. It'll be a lot of fun for the Cup Series side, especially next season, to test all those out. But right now, business to be taken care of. And that custom schedule season will be a season-long championship for the Cup Series. There will be no chase like in our actual 2004 season. Quarter tank left on the fuel gauge for Jimmy Johnson. A 0.7 of a second lead. A lot of these leaders just trying to take this as far as they can. It's going to be risky to short pit, but that would be one way to try to get out in front of this 48 car and perhaps get more laps of lead once Johnson ends up hitting. But if the caution comes out in the middle of green flag stops, that's going to end it. With as many as we've seen so far today, it's just a little too risky. Especially if you're a chase driver. If you're a non-chase driver, you might as well go for it. Like Elliott Sadler in third, he's got nothing to lose. Hell, he'll probably end up blowing another engine before the end of the race anyway, so at the rate he's been at second half of the season. Now because I said that, I really hope he blows an engine. Just for the comedic relief of this race. Martinsville with these EA games, always something. Always something's up. Remember on NASCAR Thunder 2004, we had that pit road glitch where Johnny Benson flipped in the pits. He drove over like 2 cars. Then we had cautions for drivers just leaving the pit box. We've had drivers pile into the barrier. We had a parking lot crash already in this race. We've had rivals. Tempers flaring like we did at Martinsville with the photo finish here earlier this season. Definitely one of the better finishes. Probably the best finish that we've had so far on this season was at Martinsville. I wonder if we could perhaps shape up for something like that in these final just over 100 laps. 1 second lead at the line that time for Jimmy Johnson. Next race of the schedule will be the Bass Pro Shops 500 at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. Following that, we go to Phoenix for the first and only time all season. Then we have our final Crown Jewel event of the year for the second to last race of the year at Darlington for the Southern 500, followed by the season finale at Homestead for the Ford 400. So those are the final 4 races. 2 more mile-and-a-halves to go, a short track, and a unique intermediate on a mile and a third Darlington. Looks like we got a couple drivers pitting this time by. Dale Jr. will stay out. Maybe some of the other drivers in the top 5. I would not be surprised if Elliott Sadler decided to short pit. Johnson's going to take this as far as he can. Lap 400 this time by. Drives the corner on top of the curbing. Washes up, wasn't able to clear or stay alongside the 99. Driven by Jeff Burton. Ryan Newman coming out of the pits up ahead. Johnson out drives Burton on corner entry into 3. Dale Jr. is down to 1.2 seconds behind the race lead with 100 to go. When will he pit? And then when will Johnson pit? Johnson is committed to staying out. So around the 77 to gone. Oh, wow, gone with the crossover. Happened so quick. That's a little loose off turn 2 and had a bit of contact. Oh, my goodness. Johnson into the back of Ryan Newman now. Penske sandwich. It's just a huge train of lap cars right in front of the 48. And the lap traffic is costing Johnson. That 1.2 second lead is disappearing. And it's down to about a half a second at the line this time. So he works again to the inside of Brendan Gaughan. Ryan Newman as well. And Dale Earnhardt Jr. will pit this time by, so he's able to cut it down to a half a second, and now he'll pit from second place while Jimmy Johnson will stay on the track hoping for a caution. .151 car going to make his pit stop. Not all the lead lap cars have pit yet. Johnson's got about a 7.7 second lead. And his biggest threat, we kind of figured at the start of the race was going to be Dale Jr. Oh my goodness. Contact with the 172. He's trying to get to pit road. He about turned Jimmy Johnson down the back straightaway. Great save by Johnson. Now Newman drives it in deep. Oh, big bounce off the curb for Newman. Johnson was going as high as he could. He was out of the groove that time, trying to stay out of Newman's way, considering how deep the 12 car was going into turn 1. Johnson locking the brakes up into turn 1. He's got about an eighth of a tank of fuel left with 92 to go. And I believe all the lead lap cars have now pit. So Jimmy Johnson's got a 1 lap lead on the field. He is the last car in the lead lap that has to make his pit stop. And he's going to wait it out, hoping for a caution. Good to hear, Billy. Johnson's definitely losing a lot of time on the racetrack by staying out. Likely won't cycle back to the lead, but then if he stays out long enough, he'll have enough fresher tires that he should be able to run these guys back down well before the end of the race. So he is getting more laps led in this way. In that race for the most laps led, Dale Jr. ends up cycling to the lead in front of him. To see how long exactly Dale Jr. will be able to try and hold on to the lead for. Johnson's pit crew has been pretty good so far through the first 2 pit stops today. No mistakes, but they did have a mistake on a pit stop at Charlotte last night. Really the only time they had a mistake under any pit stop in the chase. This will definitely be the money stop. $85 laps to go. Johnson to the inside of Newman. Makes a quick pass on the Rocket Man. Now makes a pass on Ricky Craven. And Bobby Labonte. Starting to roll around these lap cars. At least since they came out of the pit lane, they seem to be all of a sudden now over the last couple laps at least staying out of Johnson's way. There it is, fuel tank almost empty. Johnson going to be able to take this to between 75 to 80 laps to go. Just want to risk running out of fuel even though it is the shortest track in NASCAR. There it is. So Jimmy Johnson just clinched the most laps led. Looks like Matt Kenseth just came into the pit lane. Not sure if that's scheduled or not. 80 laps to go this time by. So Johnson has clinched the most laps led. He's just hoping for a caution. Oh boy, big stack up. Somebody leaving the pit lane, it looked like. I think that was Kenseth. It was a scheduled stop for the 17. Johnson's got a lot of traffic in front of him. He just clinched the most laps led, so he'll pit this time. The 79 laps to go. No adjustments for the 48. 4 tires and fuel only. Third and final stop of the day. The money stop at Martinsville. Clean stop for the 48 bunch. Dale Jr. to the lead. Maybe second place. Michael Waltrip is in the lead. Wow, what a stop by the 15th crew. DEI runs 1-2 at Martinsville. I'd assume Waltrip has made his final stop. I was not expecting him to get out in front. He hasn't really been in contention to win a race all season. Contact with Joe Nemechek there. Dale Jr. in second. I'm sure Waltrip's going to try to defend for his teammate. Considering Waltrip isn't in the chase, Dale Jr. is. And I would imagine Dale Jr. and Jimmy Johnson both have faster cars than Michael. He's just out there leading. But who would have thought Michael Waltrip would be leading with 75 laps to go at Martinsville? I certainly didn't see that coming. After the final pit stops, Johnson going to be aggressive. 3 wide underneath Dale Jr. And the 0 of Ward Burton. Johnson overdrives the corner. We saw 4 wide didn't work earlier. 3 wide almost didn't work either. Junior's running like a half a lane. Not even a half a lane. He's running like a half a lane off the inside wall. Look at this. It's going to make Johnson have to use the bumper here before long. Or Jimmy's going to just get by him on the outside. What a move. For second place, Johnson just drove right around Dale Jr. the hard way on the outside of Martinsville. And now Michael Waltrip's 1.5 second lead. Hanging in the balance. Johnson is rolling on these fresh tires. 70 to go. Waltrip must have been one of those first drivers that hit pit road. Not chase driver, why not? Seems to be working for him for the moment. No way he's going to be able to hold on under the 48, though. Oh, boy, into turn one. He's trying to squeeze him. Johnson off the curb. Hasn't cleared Waltrip yet. Side by side for the lead into 3. And now he's clear on corner entry. Lap car is going to get to the inside of the 15 as well. And actually, he'll let Waltrip go down the straightaway. But new leader at the line. Jimmy Johnson's back out in front again, looking for a max points day for the second chase race of the season, in which he could possibly lead the most laps and win the race. Third, excuse me, both his wins in the chase. He led the most laps. Dominated New Hampshire. Didn't necessarily dominate, but he did lead the most laps and win 2 races ago at Kansas. Waltrip's going to try to battle. He wants that first win of the year to become that 10th different winner of the points-paying races. Trying to win his first ever race on a non-super speedway. And Dale Earnhardt Jr., of course, trying to keep the championship battle as tight as he possibly can. Johnson fought his adversity early in the race. Was still able to get to the lead by lap 91. Johnson's pulling the Earnhardt Jr. line down the back straightaway. Waltrip drove it really deep. He almost got into the back of the 48. Jimmy may have to look out. Waltrip may use the bumper here one of these times. 2 corners in a row, he's been all over the back of the 48 car. Johnson's pulled right back away, though. No sign of Dale Earnhardt Jr. for the moment, but we still got 60 laps to go. He's got time. Not a lot of it, but he does have time to try and catch up to his teammate, one of his best friends, Jimmy Johnson. Future teammate. Current teammate, future teammate. Oh, man, that was a big bounce off the curb. Dan Clark, welcome to the stream. It's probably the slowest track in NASCAR. I agree with you. Yes, it is. The top speed in real life is about 120 miles an hour, give or take. But even with the slow speeds, as we know in racing, things can happen fast. Waltrip trying to keep this close. Waltrip's got a really clean race car right now, too. A lot of beating and banging for the lead. He wasn't in the mix of that earlier. This is solely based off of strategy to get himself up to second. He's trying to hang on. Not a lot of traffic in front of the 48 for the moment, which is going to be good for Jimmy Johnson. Drive faster than that on the freeway. Yeah, we're dropping it down to 59 miles an hour at times going into the corner. We've been even lower than that in traffic. Mid-corner speed. Dale Jr. just passed Dale Jarrett off the exit of turn 2, and now 1, 2, 3 are under a blanket with almost 50 to go. So Dale Jr. third in points. Not sure where Gordon's at. He can maybe swing to second, but he is going to look for a big run to be able to try and win this race. Waltrip just overdrove the corner. Turns 3 and 4, he went way up the track. Junior wasn't quite close enough to get underneath him, though. Waltrip's going to try to battle Johnson hard, but I think after some time he's probably going to let his teammate go, considering he's racing for the championship. Team orders will likely play a big part. Comes the next lap car. First time in a while, it'll be Russell Jackson in the 142. Waltrip to the inside, out of nowhere. He was starting to fall back, and he carried so much speed into turn 1 rather, and he was able to use the lap car of Russell Jackson as a pick. Now Johnson's going to cross him back over off of 4, and they're nearly 3 wide, and they are 3 wide for the lead into 1 contact between the 15 and the 48. And with that contact, it's Waltrip who hangs on, and here comes Dale Jr. Waltrip with a block. He's back out in front with 48 to go at Martinsville. Johnson drives it in deep. Oh, he puts the bumper to the 15. Battle not over yet. Even off of turn 4. Johnson still got the advantage on the bottom. He'll clear Waltrip off of turn 2, back for the lead again. Waltrip's going to try to cross the 48 over. Johnson gets the drive off. He'll block on the front stretch. And up the track. Oh, contact with the DEI cars. Waltrip overdrove 1. Dale Jr. had his front bumper right around the right rear corner panel of Waltrip, trying to get to the outside of him, and they make a bit of contact, allowing Johnson to pull away a bit down the backstretch through 3 and 4. That could have been pretty bad. Definitely getting racy. Still got 45 to go. Wonder if anybody else is going to catch up with how these top 3 have been racing each other. Mainly just Waltrip and Johnson. And Junior got his take of the contact with the 15 a couple laps ago. Jamie McMurray in the 42 to the outside. Johnson gets around him. Got to be very easy to get fatigued in a race like this, 458 laps in, but we are headed down the home stretch. Things are ramping up. Championship implications are bigger than ever as far as the season and the race goes. We know Johnson's already clinched the most laps led. But Dale Jr., third in points, only 82 back coming into this one, is riding in third. His teammate in front of him, though, they are starting to lose time to the 48 over the last couple laps as they struggle to get around the lap car of McMurray. Johnson going to blow around Kyle Petty in the 45. 1.1 second lead for Johnson off of turn 4. 41 to go. Now Waltrip's struggling to get around Kyle Petty in the 45. Lap traffic is going Johnson's way for the moment. That was not the case when he won his last race at Kansas. It was going completely against him, but he was able to hold on to a half a second victory, despite the lead being 8.3 seconds at one point in the final 23 laps over teammate Jeff Gordon. Johnson clears the 198. Tony Walker, 1.3 second lead. That's the largest lead Johnson's had during this green flag run, excluding the fact that he stayed out of the pits longer than everybody else. Figured that would cycle him out of the lead, which it did for a moment. About a good 20 to 30 laps before he caught back up to Waltrip and Dale Jr. Johnson up off the curb. Oh, my goodness. He was committed to clearing Ricky Rudd there, and luckily he had him cleared. Rudd going to go up the track now. Johnson off the curb again in 3 and 4. 35 laps to go at Martinsville. Lap traffic side by side. Thought for a second they were going to be. Never mind. Waltrip still in second back there. One lap car, in fact, between him and Dale Jr. Seems like the chase drivers are either having an extraordinary day as far as running up towards the front all day, or they have had a terrible day and have ran outside the top 15 most of the race. The points at the top probably going to get really tight, but from the middle on back is really going to start to fall off here going into Atlanta in the next race, which may end up potentially coming tomorrow. I got off of work a little bit late today and haven't been able to do any editing on the career mode video, and I have to work again tomorrow. So you'll have to stay tuned on the community tab. Definitely hit that notification bell so you guys don't miss the next upload, as well as on the community tab as well. Make sure your settings have it on so you guys don't miss any information or reminder as far as what will end up happening, whether we'll have that premiere tomorrow night for NASCAR 21 Ignition at Kansas for the career mode, or if we'll end up live streaming race 7 of the chase at Atlanta tomorrow night. If we do live stream, it'll be at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I can't tell you that much, but as far as... And if we have the premiere, it'll be at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I have the times. It's just a matter of... I don't know how much I could do tonight because I still got to eat and work out yet. Oh, contact off turn 4. Mark Martin got loose. got up into the 12 of Ryan Newman. 29 to go. That's not what Johnson wanted to see right in front of him. While he's leading, one of his biggest leads of the day. It's out to 1.8 seconds. So he's starting to pull away late. Couldn't quite clear Martin off the exit of turn 4. Should be able to get him down here in 1 and 2, and he does. Nice clean pass. Now, Watkins Glen's a pretty fast road course. They slow down. I mean, there's a couple corners they slow down below 100 miles per hour, but overall, it's a super fast road course. A lot of long straightaways. Not too many turns. Not as narrow. I wonder if Dale Jr. has gotten around Michael Waltrip yet. We know he's got a fast race car. I'd say faster than Waltrip. It's just a matter of how much time are they losing in lap traffic as well as battling each other. Lead was at 1.9 seconds. It's down to about 1.8. Tenth of a second was gained that last lap. Johnson's not struggling in lap traffic. Maybe they're just starting to get through it maybe a little bit better. Still 2 lap cars at least between the top 2, which would be Mark Martin and Bobby Labonte. Newman on the outside. Trying not to lose another lap, whatever championship hope he still has. Doesn't want the points leader to put him another lap down. It looks like it's just going to happen. .2-second lead at the line. 22 to go. For Jimmy Johnson to try and get his 3rd win of the chase. In the first 6 races of the chase. Trying to do a Kyle Larson 2021/Tony Stewart 2011 season. Winning 5 races in the chase. Let's see if Johnson can break the all-time record for the most wins in a single chase. It'd be pretty tough. He'd have to win 3 of the last 4. Well, considering he'd win this one too, it'd have to be 4 of the last 5 races he won. Had to go to victory lane in if he's going to be able to do it. Not impossible. You never know. Johnson can win this. This would be his 14th victory of the season. And he's still in a super tight points battle and with no DNFs. That reset with the chase really hurt him. He had just over a 200-point lead over Jeff Gordon at the end of the regular season. Of course, we get a bot in the chat with 19 laps to go. We only saw one all night, about halfway through the race, and then we got one right at the end. That lead's still expanding. He's going to have to take a caution to likely bunch the field back up again. Either that or something crazy with the lap traffic in front of Jimmy Johnson. Makes him slow the car down quite substantially. 2.4 seconds. 17 to go. 17 laps at Martinsville is not long. Already ran 484 of them. This is going to be insane that this could potentially be a green flag run of over 200 laps to the end of the race. After having 6 cautions in the first 280-something laps. Johnson going to clear Scott Wimmer. Oh, not quite clear yet. Now he'll clear him into turn 3. Nice clean pass. Big bounce off the curb for Johnson. Drives on. 15 to go for Jimmy J. And his chase for his first Nextel Cup Series title in this 2004 season. Only his third year in the Cup Series for Jimmie Johnson. He proved even back in his rookie season he was a championship caliber driver. The top 10 points finish and competed for the title. Actually had the points lead going into the final 8 races of the season. This one he still got the points lead, likely with 4 races to go, barring something catastrophic late in this one. He's going to avenge a win from Martinsville earlier in the season, finishing a photo finish to Tony Stewart's second place. Stewart pinched him into the wall coming to the checkered flag. And Johnson had a run on him off of turn 4. At the point of contact, plus the bump and run a couple laps even before that last gasp off turn 4 from Stewart to Johnson gave Tony Stewart the victory. This will be the 19th win for Hendrick Motorsports. He set a modern era record for the most wins for a single race team in a single season, breaking Hendrick Motorsports' record, which they would eventually end up setting in 2007, where they had 18 wins. Got to go back to before the modern era with Richard Petty, back when he was winning 20 races a year. Of course, the most races he ever won in a season was 27. That would be the record. They might have even won more than 27 races that year if maybe Pete Hamilton won some races that season as well. I have no clue, honestly. Eight laps to go for Jimmie Johnson. Really, if he could just get about 4 or 5 more laps in, the race could end under yellow. We did get a caution now. It would be a single file restart. All the lap cars would be behind the lead lap cars. Sure, with over a 200 lap green flag run, I doubt that there's still 10 cars on the lead lap like we had on the restart. Blit 500, welcome to the stream. Still a 2.7 second lead as Johnson's just casually strolling here at Martinsville in the closing laps. He may not catch another lap car the rest of this race. He's only got 6 to go. He's got a decent gap for the next one in front of him, which would be Jeff Burton in the 99. Just past Greg Biffle that last lap. A couple Roush Fenway Fords around him. Biffle involved in an earlier accident. Brought out the second caution of the day. Third caution, excuse me, on the day. 5 to go at Martinsville. Still 2.8 second lead and growing for Jimmie Johnson, even in the waning laps of this 500 lap race at Martinsville. Just over 250 miles in length. 3 to go. 3 seconds now is the difference between first and second. Really, the big thing now is if Dale Jr. was able to get around Michael Waltrip for second place or not. 2 to go. Lap 22 caution involving both the Hendrick teammates of Jeff Gordon and Jimmie Johnson when Gordon spun and backed it into the wall off turn 4, leaving Johnson, who was right behind him and on the outside of Kurt Busch, battling for position at the time. Nowhere to go. They piled into one another. Both had significant damage. Both are going to make it to the end of this race and salvage decent finishes. But it's the latter of the two. It is the 48 and Jimmie Johnson who is going to be able to go to victory lane for the 14th time this season. Johnson wins at Martinsville, and he is the winner of the Subway 500. inching closer to his first career championship in this Chase for 8 series. Johnson gonna do a Polish victory lap. Imagine having a 1,000 lap race. No thanks. Curious to see how long this race went. As far as the elapsed time goes. Who would have thought 6 cautions at Martinsville, all in the first 300 laps, and we go over 200 laps, green flag to the end, even having to make a green flag pit stop in the middle of which. Didn't think that was going to happen today, but it did. 2.7 second victory. Michael Waltrip never gave that position up. He fought to the very end. 3 hours, 7 minutes total time on the race. That is exactly how long it took us to run last night's race. 3 hours and 7 minutes. I don't know if the point whatever seconds is right. If it is, Illuminati confirmed. Jimmy Johnson gets a max points day with the win, leading the most laps. 267 laps led with the win. 4th straight race he's led the most laps now. Michael Waltrip goes on to finish second, leading 13 laps in the closing stages within those final 70 laps. Dale Earnhardt Jr. led 94 laps, 90 of which started the race out. He led 4 more later. Still ended up with a 3rd place finish. Elliott Sadler did finish today's race and finished top 5 and 4th. It's kind of the consistency he had before the bad luck of DNFs. Kurt Busch led the 2nd most laps today with 116 laps led. He was the only other driver up over 100 laps led. Case Kane didn't lead any laps, but still solid 6th place finish. Jeff Gordon didn't lead any laps either and finishes 7th, so despite a good day, without any bonus points compared to Johnson having a max points day, he will lose more points and may actually fall behind Dale Jr. in the standings. We'll have to wait and see here in a couple minutes. Tony Stewart finishes in 8th, had a quiet but good day. Sterling Marlin last car in the league lap in 9th, and Dale Jarrett first car lap down rounds out the top 10. Other Chase drivers that finish outside the top 10 would include Kevin Harvick in 12th, Matt Kenseth in 13th, Ryan Newman in 15th, and Bobby Labonte in 16th. And I don't believe there's any other Chase drivers we missed. Drivers who failed to finish the race: Paul Menard, Robbie Gordon, Rusty Wallace, Casey Mears, all blue engines, all in the first 306 laps, none in the final 194. And there's Jimmy Johnson in victory lane. Maybe Sadler finished the race because it was the shortest track, so it wasn't as much of a toll on the engine. That's my explanation. They'll probably blow an engine at Atlanta. That's a pretty fast track, especially in the early 2000s. 325 laps, 500 miles for the Bass Pro Shops MBNA 500 at the Atlanta Motor Speedway for the next race. But first, before we head out of here tonight, we got to check out the point standings that are updated. We know Jimmy Johnson has expanded this lead. Considering Gordon finished in 7th, it's going to be over a 90-point lead at least. Well, unless Gordon's less than 90 back. Over a 90-point lead on at least Dale Jr. Yeah, over 100. Tie for second. What are the odds? Jimmy Johnson has a 102-point lead over both Dale Earnhardt Jr. and Jeff Gordon, who are tied for second. The game is showing Dale Jr. with the tiebreaker. Let me see. I think Jeff Gordon has the tiebreaker overall. Not only Gordon's won 1 race in the Chase to Dale Jr.'s none, but Jeff Gordon has 5 wins total on the year compared to Dale Jr., who only has 3 wins total on the season. Again, this is Johnson's 14th. So they have the 2nd and 3rd most wins. The 3 most winningest drivers of the top 3 in points. Funny how that works out. All right. Kevin Harvick, 160 back and 4th. Casey Kane still in the top 5 in points as a rookie. 172 back. Still not out of contention by any means. Again, 190 points is the max amount of points you can score in a single race. Matt Kenseth, 238 back in 6th. Tony Stewart, 267 back in 7th. Kurt Busch, 269 back in 8th. Bobby Labonte, 359 back in 9th. And Ryan Newman up over 400 points back now, 407 out of 1st. So mathematically, they all still have a shot to win it in the final 4 races, but realistically, it's likely only looking like the top 5 are going to have a really good shot at it. Kenseth, Stewart, Kurt Busch, they're not out of it. They're going to have to go on a tear, and they're going to need a little bit of help. As far as Bobby Labonte and Ryan Newman go, I think you could stick a fork in them. Mathematically, they're not out of it, but they haven't really shown that consistent speed. Again, both of them finished outside the top 15 today, or outside the top, 14th and 16th where they finished today. Newman's been really bad in the chase. He's 16th today. Well, he's only had one top 10 in the last 4 races. That's not going to do it if you're going to win a championship, especially late in the season. All right, well, that is going to wrap things up here tonight. Again, like, share, and subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. 19 likes here tonight. Thanks for that. That's a lot of likes considering this is an older game. So thanks for all you guys coming out, enjoying the final season stretch here. Again, tomorrow, it's hit or miss. I don't know if I can get everything edited with having to work tomorrow, and I got off of work a little bit later than what I expected today. So probably going to have to postpone that premiere again, considering I have off of work Sunday and Monday. I'll probably end up having it Sunday. We'll probably have a doubleheader on Sunday if I can't get the premiere out tomorrow. I'm off of work Sunday, so I'll definitely have it ready to go by then at the latest. I think we can end up live streaming a race on the channel with this game, and then we can also have the premiere for that NASCAR 21 career mode race. So that's probably going to be the plan. Is I would probably plan on tomorrow at Atlanta at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with this game, our 7th race of the chase, and then then Sunday we'll have a doubleheader where we'll run the 8th race of the chase at Phoenix as well as the premiere of the Kansas Cup race for NASCAR 21 Ignition on the career mode. Have a good night, everybody. I'll catch you next time. Have a good start to your weekend.